Hi, good morning, everybody. This morning, I want to talk about the virtue of preparation. Um, Preparation, why is it a virtue? It's a good thing. It's a great quality to have. And I don't know that, you know, anybody will disagree with that. But in practicality, how important is this virtue? How important is this quality? The quality of being prepared. I mean, we all know the, old, well, not old, but the Scout motto, which is, of course, centered around preparation, right? And of course, in many different spheres or areas of life, we can identify how much of an important role preparation plays. In fact, there's a quote or a saying that I heard not too long ago. I don't know if I can quote this correctly, but it's basically said, luck is when preparation and opportunity come together. In other words, if you're prepared and an opportunity arises, that matches or syncs up with your level of preparation, then that's when you become lucky. So in other words, there's no such thing as luck. You have to prepare yourself for luck, because even when people talk about lottery winners who have won significant amount of money and they describe that as luck, the reality is those people don't necessarily hold on to the money that they have won just because they were not prepared to handle that amount of wealth. You see or you hear so many stories of people who won the lottery and ended up miserable or ended up having more of a disastrous life than they had before they won that money, because they were not prepared to handle that opportunity when it came to them. And so today I'm going to be talking about the virtue of preparation as it applies to defining your success, as it applies to guarding your mind with wisdom, as it applies to improving the quality of your life. It brings to mind the Bible scripture, the scripture that talked about the 10 virgins, right? And 5 of them were prepared and the other 5 were not, and when their groom came, they were out of oil for their lamp and they were trying to get lamp oil from the other virgins. Again, like I've said in one of my blogs, this is something that I learned from a woman that I respect very much. She said she's given examples so many times of how what is true in the physical is also true in the spiritual. In other words, if something can be applied, to the physical, then it applies somewhat to the spiritual. And I like to think that it also applies the other way around. The story is more of a parable to depict a spiritual connotation. But if you apply that same principle to our practical existence, to our physical existence, to our here and now, the principle is the same. If a person goes around without being prepared for the things that they hope to achieve or they desire to achieve, without preparing themselves, without laying the foundation, then when the opportunity comes, a number of things can happen. You will either not recognize that opportunity, or you will miss that opportunity, or you will abuse the opportunity. And so it's very important that you prepare yourself for whatever level of success that you want to achieve. It's kind of like saying, it's like I read somewhere a few days ago a book, and there was a description that was made, and they said, look, if you want to attract attractive people, then you have to be attractive. And I'm pretty sure they were not talking about just the physical attraction of a person, but attractiveness from the inside out. Likewise, if you want to attract success, you have to prepare yourself for success. You have to be successful on the inside, mentally, and overall, you have to be prepared. You have to act like you're already successful. You have to think like you're already successful. Do the things that you will have to do when you become successful, and you will attract success to you. And so I kind of want to give an example also with Napoleon Hill. There was a lecture of his I was listening to on an audiobook, and he was talking about how he had worked for this president. I can't remember which president it was. I think it was President maybe Reagan. I don't know. It was one of the presidents back in his time, in the 1930s, I guess. And before this guy became the president of the United States, he had worked with him when he was in a smaller office, political office. And so when he became president, the president invited Napoleon Hill to come work for him and, come help him do certain things. And he had worked for like 3 months without being paid. That's Napoleon Hill himself. And so one day he was having a conversation with the president, and the president asked him, who is responsible for his payment, how is he getting paid? And Napoleon Hill, told the president he would like to know that himself, because he had been working 3 months and nobody had said anything to him about his pay structure. But he had been giving his all. He had been working and doing what he was supposed to do for the president, regardless of the fact that he wasn't being paid, right? And so subsequently, he told the president, he said, look, he respects him. He's doing what he does because of his, his respect and support for the president. However, if the president insists on paying him, they can put him on a salary of $1 per annum. Crazy, right? I mean, this guy was willing to go on the payroll for $1 per annum, because for him, it wasn't about the pay. It was about the quality. It was about the necessity of the work he was doing. It was about what he was doing. But anyway, going back to my story, so he had, he worked for the president for a significant amount of time. And after he completed his job with the president, during the time he was working for the presidential office, whenever he had time on his hands, he would write down thoughts that he had. He would write down little ideas that were coming to him. He would, he was just writing them down. And for years he did this. And so by the time he was out of the office he was in, after he had finished his work with the president, he had a lot of manuscripts and a lot of things he had written, things, ideas, thoughts that had come to him, things he had, written down based on research and studies and things like that. And he had all these manuscripts just littered around. And so he started to go through the things he had written, and he realized he had put down together a lot of principles that were relevant or applicable to being successful in life. And so he started organizing those principles he had written down, and he was able to put together a manuscript which resulted in the book that, to me is like the guide to success, and that book everybody knows today as Think and Grow Rich. Now, while he was working for the president, he wasn't getting paid, but the time he had within that and the resources he had within that period, he was using that to write these thoughts, these things that were, significant ideas that were coming to him, and was able to put together a book that resulted from that time. And everybody, if you've ever read the book Think and Grow Rich, or if you know anything about the book Think and Grow Rich, that book has sold millions of copies. I mean, millions of copies. This was a book written in 1937, I think it was originally, and it has sold millions of copies, and he made millions of dollars from that book. So he may not have been getting paid while he was working with the president, but he was preparing himself for a future where he would be paid even more than he could ever have been paid working for the presidential office. And again, coming back to, the topic of my discussion today, which is the virtue of preparation. The point I'm trying to make is, no matter where you find yourself in your life today, once you have discovered what your definite purpose is in life, what your definite aim, what your goal or your mission is in life, begin now to prepare yourself for that success in that field, for your success in that field, for your success in that goal, for your success in whatever it is you are seeking to achieve. Begin now to prepare yourself as if you have already received, as if you have already achieved that level of success. Begin to prepare yourself, act, think, read, study, work like you have already achieved that level of success, and you will attract that success, that level of success to you, so that when the opportunity then finds you, you will be prepared to convert that opportunity into success. I hope that the things that I've said today, again, has resonated with somebody out there. I personally am in that phase of my life where I am preparing. Part of the preparation is me sharing the thoughts that I'm learning, me sharing the things that I'm discovering, me sharing experiences and stories that I hope will help you to accomplish or to realize your true potential, and achieve success in life. As always, I love you guys. Share this video, share your comments, subscribe to this blog if you feel that you would like to receive more thoughts and more truths or wisdom from this blog, and also share this with family and friends. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.